India's Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and Departments of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and Labor and Employment and Skill Development missions in state governments are gearing up for the next phase of skill missions. In this panel discussion, moderated by ET Government Editor T. Radhakrishna, State Skill Development Secretaries from Kerala, Bihar, Odisha, and Telangana will highlight their experiences and future roadmap, including forthcoming World Skill Centers. I would like to invite T. Radhakrishna, Editor ET Government, to moderate this panel discussion on the topic Skill India Towards a Reskilling Revolution.
Hi, on behalf of ET Government, the Economic Times, I welcome our distinguished guest and guest audience to the panel discussion on Skill India towards a reskilling revolution, part of Education Innovation and Skill Summit organized by ET Government and ET HR World. It is indeed an honor and privilege to moderate today's discussion. I am joined by distinguished guest, Mr. Satyajit Rajan, Additional Chief Secretary, Department of Labor and Government of Kerala, Mr. Mihir Kumar Singh, Principal Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of Bihar Skill Development Mission, Government of Bihar, Mr. Sanjay Kumar Singh, Secretary, Department of Skill Development and Technical Education from Government of Odisha, Major Harsh Kumar, Secretary, NCRT or National Council of Education Research and Training Institution from Government of India, Mr. Srikant Sinha, Chief Executive Officer of Telangana Academy for Skill and Knowledge from Government of Telangana. I extend a warm welcome to all the panelists. Gentlemen, welcome to the panel discussion today. My first question to Mr. Satyajit Rajan, Additional Chief Secretary. Sir, may I request to give us an introductory on the ongoing skill initiatives in Kerala, how Kerala is aligning with the Government of India's skill development mission, if you can, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Kerala has a structure in which the coordinator is the skill department. That is my department, labor and skill. We primarily run as far as Government of India is concerned, the Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana and the ITIs. The ITIs come under us. So I will tell you about a couple of initiatives taken by this, then I will go to other departments which are into skilling. So the most important thing, what has been done in the recent past is we have started production centers. So there are, taking advantage of COVID, production centers were set up. But apart from the COVID-related production items, we also have initiated into a thing like, bulb manufacturing. Bulb, where the bulb, even if the lights go off, the bulb gets charged, and then they give you light when the lights are not there. So a lot of other production items also we have started producing and putting in the market. So this is one thing which has been done, the production centers. Then a second initiative which we have taken in the last 1 year during the COVID times is entrepreneurship mindset development. There is an organization called Udyam, for Learning Foundation in Bangalore. So they say that the entrepreneurship mindset development, when students are there in the schools or early colleges, including ITIs, it can take place. So their major success story, of course, has been in education in the schools, has been Delhi, where Mr. Sisodia has been leading this from the front. So we thought that for ITIs we would introduce that because job seeker to job creator is a journey in which the number of job seekers reduces and number of jobs go up. So bringing about a balance between the jobs. So, we found that, out of 450 people we trained, through the master trainers. 30 master trainers were trained by them, and they in turn trained the students. So finally, they set up at least 25 set up their own business, and then two could go to the banks for finance. Now, this is something which had never happened in the past. So this we are trying to now. This we had done only on a smaller scale. Now the curriculum we are trying to change, in the sense very minor changes. Basically, from entrepreneurship development training program, we will include the components of entrepreneurship mindset development training program. So this we are going to launch it on the 12th of this month, where with the new curriculum, we will launch it across all the ITIs. So we are going to train the master trainers from 12th. So this is the second initiative I can think of. So this is as far as our department is concerned. Now we have other departments like higher education department. Higher education department, we have a ADB assisted, scheme where acquisition of skill development program. So that is taking place. That is for the schools and colleges. Is basically communication skills. The soft skills is what they are teaching them. So that program has been a big success, and that I think, I mean, if other states are not doing, although this program in ASAP was started some 10 years ago by us, around 2011 or 12. But I think that's one thing which the entire country should look at. Building up communication skills at the school level itself. Then we have Kutumbasri. Kutumbasri, all of you know, there are self-help groups, and the Kerala Kutumbasri, they have done pretty well. And Kutumbasri now all over India are doing very well. So we were one of the starters. So there also, we find that the skill development is taking place at a very, very systematic manner. There also we are promoting entrepreneurship skill also at that level in a very, very significant manner. So I will say higher education, general education, this rural development basically comes under the local self-government department, and the labor and skill. So these are broadly the departments which are into skilling. Now, one thing which I'll tell you now, just coming from an award. What was that award? In Government of India, the Shram Award is given to workers, but mostly from large organizations, petrochemicals, chemicals, such large projects, awards are being given. But today, first time, I don't know whether any other state has done or not, but first time we have our minister has distributed awards to whom? To the choir workers, to the motor workers, coconut climber workers. There are 15 awards. Nurses are there, salesmen are there, but I will wrap up with, the award for household worker. People who are working in our household. We today recognize the best person. A lady got an award for 1 lakh today. Apart from getting this thing and all. So she got an award. Now, she was telling that, I thought that my work can never be appreciated by anybody. And now I realize that it's not a bad thing to be doing a household work. Government recognizes it. I have got an award. I'll just wrap up with a quick thing that in the 16th, 17th century, this country was at the top of the GDP in the world. And what was the reason for that being top of the GDP worker? They were the workers from mostly from Bengal, East Bengal. Today, Bengal GDP is going up and up and up. And they were the guys who took the GDP up for the entire India way back in the 16th, 17th century. And India was there. Then Britishers, completely ruined us systematically. And the work to be done with hand, we started hating them to the extent that hate continues till end. And in that, I will just say the one major thing which Government of India had done, that is the best thing that happened, the award which is being Skill India Award. Now that also, Skill India Award, we are now one of the top 60 countries in the world giving this award. But that also Kerala has initiated. The first skill award in India took place when my predecessor, Chief Secretary, then Chief Secretary, Mr. Tom Jones, went with his minister to Brazil for similar international award. He went there, he saw, and then came and gave the award first time in Kerala. The first such awards in India were given to carpenters, masons, and all those people, first time in India. Today, India, very quickly, within 2 years, all over India, those awards are being given. We have to generate respect for work being done with hand. That will not come with, you can have a number of, there are a number of new areas coming up. We are all very, very fond of all such things, but the carpentry will exist, masonry will exist at least for the next 30, 40 years. And we will have to respect all such skills, hand skills, and not only think about computer and other skills. Thank you so much.
I'll just go to Mr. Mahir Kumar Singh. Sir, welcome to panel discussion. If may I request you to give your introductory remarks on Bihar's skill initiatives and how you are aligned with the Government of India's skill initiative mission.
Thank you. Actually, Bihar has started this whole process around 8 years back in a much bigger way, and when we started this program, the program was conceptualized in two sides. First part was giving, first of identifying these people. So we have set up district resource centers in all districts, in which whosoever is unemployed or wants to upgrade his skills come to the center, and on these centers their all data is captured. After that, what happens is they are given, this is a program called Kushal Yuva program, in which they are giving either the first, this is the 120-hour language and other soft skills which are given, and 120 hours of computer literacy. This is for people who have passed 10th, for students who have passed 10th, and also given Swayam Sahayata Bhatta for setting up their own enterprises. This is the first part of the exercise. After that, skilling, as Kerala Satyajit Rajan sir has said, skilling is done at so many fronts. So through skill development mission, Bihar skill development mission, we run the exercise number one from our department, and also coordinate with whatever is happening in different departments. For example, Jivika has had a much larger share, because in Bihar, Jivika was started much earlier. Jivika was started around 12 years earlier, and it is a major success story, not all over India, but even internationally. And it has been running the DDU, GKY program and other programs. Jivika has gone into so many other kind of activities now, in which they are making, for example, 2 weeks back, they started making Didi Kitchen for all the ICDS centers. So lots of things are happening through Jivika. This is part of thing. This is not skilling, but I'm saying they have gone into entrepreneurship. And through school education, through Department of Higher Education, through polytechnics, which falls in Science and Technology Department, and ITIs, which falls in our department, we have been heading a multi-pronged effort to do it. ITIs as such has been a major source of focus for the government. The present government has just now announced that it will be making Center of Excellence in all 149 government ITIs which are there, and Bihar has around 1180 private ITIs, which will also be incorporated in this whole thing in a hub and spoke model. So Center of Excellence is also there for polytechnics, and the government has also, not skilling but for higher education, established engineering colleges. So engineering colleges are also part of the exercise. So we have a model in which we are now, just like Odisha said, we are establishing hub and spoke model, in which different kind of industries will be linked up with what the market demands, as the topic of discussion was the Industry 4.0 rules, and we are changing that into our ITIs into that. And for that, the government is about to sign an MOU with one of the major groups, in which we will be upgrading all our ITIs digital and technological infrastructure. So not only the ITIs will be having this technological upgrade, but the job assurance will also be there, as the trainers will also be provided by the industry and will be able to, and these students will be able to go forward directly into the job. Finally, the last point is entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship is being focused in a very emphasized way through apprenticeship. So we have launched a program for apprenticeship in which the government support is also there, not only government of India but state government support is also there, and we are going forward and contacting every industry so that all the industries can take all kind of students, whether be the technical students or non-technical students, given them training so that they can later be absorbed in the industry.
Thank you, Mr. Mihir Kumar Singh. So I welcome Mr. Sanjay Kumar Singh, Secretary, Department of Skill Development and Technical Odisha. Sir, welcome to panel discussion. Thank you for joining. May I request you to give us your introductory remark?
Krishna. Good afternoon, Satyajit Rajan sir, Mihir Singh sir, and all other panelists today. One of the biggest problem which skill ecosystem has been facing in the country is that our debate system has not been aspirational. So Government of Odisha started initiative from 2016 to make skills aspirational. And as a part of that initiative, we had 4 targets, we had 4 goals in our mind. Our first goal was that we will fix our ITIs and polytechnics and make it aspirational. Our second goal was that we will scale up our short-term skilling in line with the vision of Government of India. And our third goal, as Satyajit Rajan sir was also mentioning, was we have to make these skilled professionals as job creators, not as job seekers. And our fourth goal was to expose our skilled professionals to all kinds of international platforms, which I think Satyajit Rajan sir was also alluding to. So these were the 4 goals with which we started when we started to completely revamp our skill ecosystem in the state of Odisha. Now, to talk about ITIs and polytechnics, what we have done in Odisha is we have set up a World Skill Center in the heart of Bhubaneswar. As I said, the biggest problem in skilling ecosystem is that we've not made it aspirational. To make that aspirational, what Government of Odisha has done is Government of Odisha has dedicated its tallest building, centrally air-conditioned building, to set up this World Skill Center, which will be basically a finishing school for ITI graduates, for polytechnic graduates, and also for general graduates. Also, we will be running skill development program. And the infrastructure is so aspirational that through this, we would like to link up all high schools, including the public schools, and show them the skilling ecosystem in the state. This World Skill Center, which we are creating in Bhubaneswar, would be launched on 5th of March by our Honorable Chief Minister. It would operate on a hub and spoke model where World Skill Center would be the hub, and the rest of the ITIs and polytechnics in the state would be their spoke, and it would be digitally linked. Second program which we have done is, as I said, we have tried to scale up our short-term skilling. If you look at 2 Government of India schemes of DDU-GKY and PMKVY, for almost last 4 or 5 years, Odisha has done the largest number of skilling, short-term skilling, both under PMKVY and DDU-GKY. And there what we have done is, we have tried to converge our own state government resources with the Government of India resources so that we can achieve much larger number of skill development. What we have seen in Odisha is, as far as short-term skilling has been very, very successful when it has been a residential program. Unfortunately, PMKVY does not have a residential component. So what we have done in Odisha is, we are topping up the PMKVY funds with our own state government funds to make PMKVY completely residential. As a result, we are able to achieve very high numbers, and our placement is also very well. Third, as I said, what Satyajit Rajan sir was also alluding to, we need to actually change our skilled professionals from job seekers to job creators. And to achieve that, we've started a very unique program, which is called Nano Unicorn Program. What do we do in this Nano Unicorn Program? In this Nano Unicorn Program, we use the presence of the students in our ITIs and our skill institution to identify those students who have enterprising skills, who can set up enterprises. Our faculty, and we also have tie-up with Tata Stripe. Tata Stripe professionals identify those students who can get into these enterprises. And then we have mobilized philanthropic money, which has been kept outside the government. So once we have identified the students, then we run a mini MBA program. As I said, our focus has been that we want to make everything in skill to be aspirational. So therefore, we run a 7-day program for these students, but we call it mini MBA program. And again, we have tied up with professional agencies who impart these mini MBA programs. Once they complete this mini MBA program, then we give them 1 lakh rupees to set up their enterprise as a very soft loan. And this money is not handled by the government because we will be again scrutinized by the AG. So therefore, this philanthropic money has been kept outside the government, but is given to only those candidates who have been selected for this Nano Unicorn program and have undergone this mini MBA program. Fourth is exposing students to the international platform. Satyajit Rajan sir is very, very correct. You see, this world skills competition would have started around 80 years back, but India started participating in the world skills program only maybe 7 to 8 years back. And the first award which India got in world skills competition is in Abu Dhabi, and that was a silver medal. The second time we've got a medal in world skills program is last year when Odisha was represented by, when India was represented by 3 participants from Odisha, and Odisha for the first time got the gold medal for in India in world skills competition. So again, coming back to my World Skills Center, what we have done is World Skills Center, we have equipped World Skills Center. Our lab equipment partners are the same partners who are the partners for World Skills program. And the objective is that we will also keep this World Skills Center as a finishing school for training our students to participate in the World Skills competition as well as other international competitions. Since there is a lot of opportunities for our skilled professionals outside the country, unless we participate in these international competitions, show our skills in these international competitions to the international employers, I don't think we will be able to get the kind of remuneration which we should get. I'll close by saying another one point. Whenever we talk about skills in Odisha, we talk about 4 components in skill. The first component is the physical infrastructure. The second component is the digital infrastructure. The third component is the intellectual infrastructure. And the fourth component is emotional infrastructure. These are the 4 components of any vibrant skill ecosystem. And to explain what is emotional infrastructure, I'll tell you, if you now go to any of the ITIs in Odisha, you will find role models in all ITIs. You will find that hostel blocks, classrooms are named after successful students who have passed out of that particular institutional. So that is how we are trying to create the emotional infrastructure in all our skill institutions, be it short-term skilling, long-term skilling, ITI or polytechnic. So that's what we've done. I think it's a very, very long journey ahead of us, and all states under the leadership of Government of India are striving to excel as far as skilling is concerned. Thank you.
Major Harsh Kumar, welcome to the panel discussion.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, welcome to panel discussion, sir. how NCRT is aligned with the skill initiatives, which has been working in this segment for more than 1 year during the COVID. Can you explain NCRT's mandate for related to skill development?
It's very, first of all, I thank you for inviting me here to put up the points what NCRT is doing. Being a premier institute of educational advisor in the field in primary and secondary education. And in this, I welcome all the esteemed speakers, all the esteemed members present here. Namaskar to everybody, and a very good day. NCRT, basically the mandate of NCRT is, as the name suggests, National Council of Educational Research and Training. We have got major mandates of research work, then curriculum making on the basis of the research, then the curriculum converted into the books, and one of the major part is the teachers training in service and pre-service. For pre-service teacher training, we have got five institutes all over India in Ajmer, Bhubaneswar, Bhopal, Mysore, and Shillong. And the topic today we are discussing is for the promotion of skill. For that, we have got Pandit Sundarlal Sharma Vocational Educational Institute that is co-located with RI Regional Institute of Education, Bhopal. So it is situated in Bhopal. And as we all are aware that this NEP, the major thirst, as rightly brought out by our esteemed speakers earlier, that we have to create job creators and not job seekers. And this NEP has stressed on that right from, you see the pattern which has changed. You know, we are all, the government is now not leaving the early pre-primary education also in the private hands, or it is in the now in the eyes of the government by changing the pattern to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So what we are doing it that, you know, the NCRT has is designing on early childhood care and education. That is being played a major thrust, and a lot of attention of the government is going on that. Our ministry and our department of education and school learning is doing a lot on this. And basically, if you see, we are now implementing of what Mahatma Gandhi told, or he has got this idea in 1937 of Nai Talim, hand, heart, and mind. That is what all relates to the skill. And what our speakers were telling that, you know, we have to, in various schemes, government is taking these young minds, those who are enterprising and all. So for this, from 6th class onwards, this vocational training is being given formally now. So the students have got the freedom to select any subject in which they are good at. So I will just correct one thing, what our esteemed previous speaker has said, that we are selecting those who are good in enterprising. We have to see that each person, each student is good in something or the other. So we have to hone that skills. And for that only, curriculum is being designed. And from 6th class onwards, vocational training will be imparted. And from 9th class, in a bigger manner, in which they can select in whatever field they want to go from 10th onwards. In this aspect, Passive Bhopal, that is Pandit Sundarlal Sharma Vocational Institute of Education in Bhopal, they have already designed some curriculum for some professional courses, and continuously that work is being going on there. NCRT has developed a lot of materials, video materials, which is available free online. If anybody goes on the NCRT website, that recent initiatives of COVID, we will find a lot of videos, lot of study material, which is being made available to all the kids of India. So basically, our role is to provide education to the far distant child in far distant village. So on that pretext, NCRT is working, and we'll very soon we'll see. It will take time. The implementation of this new education policy will be seen in our curriculum, in our books, and the way the NCRT has designed the academic calendar for this pandemic period. And as we see, and we all of us are aware, that now the education pattern has to be on a mix of offline and online. So how this offline and online has to be mixed, in what ratio, in what proportion, and in what way, how is it is to be provided, that will be provided through this manner. And lot of skill development which we have seen, our country is so peculiar and so innovative, that we have innovated in this pandemic period also. You see, in any field, whether it is the taxi services, in making of masks, sanitizer, the making of tunnels, and all those things. So innovation is a part of our life, and we are coming with that. And all states, it is good to see and hear that all states are implementing at their end. And this we'll see in the curriculum as we move on. This year is very important for us, and we day and night we are working on that. Work is going on in that aspect.
Thank you, Major Harsh Kumar. I'll just go to Mr. Srikant Sharma. Welcome to panel discussion, sir. What has been Telangana government experience in dealing with the skill initiatives? Telangana being a progressive state in education, what are your perspective on the skill missions on the ground?
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Radhakrishnan, for this opportunity. It's indeed a pleasure being present among such an august and a distinguished set of panelists talking about the youngest state of India. In fact, we have not yet completed 7 years, but the dreams and aspirations of the state are extremely high. In 2014, TASK, which is Telangana Academy for Skill and Knowledge, was set up as a special initiative under the vision of the Honorable IT Minister, Shri K.T. Ramarao Garu. And it was aimed at looking at how employability of the youth of the state can be increased. So we had a three-pronged agenda, which was ensuring understanding the gaps in the current education system, comparing it with what the industry required, and fulfilling those gaps. The second was looking at employability, which is including skills in a way where interviewing skills, personality development skills, soft skills, etc., which was called earlier, was being imparted to these youth. And the third was creating entrepreneurial mindset. Now, if you look at our journey itself, over the years, of course, if we look at ITES, which is one of the largest sector over here, last year, if we look at the exports that happened from Telangana, were more than double than the national average itself. The number of people that are getting trained and employed over here are also much larger than the other parts of the country. However, having said that, I think what is important is for us, and especially with the pandemic, etc., if you look at it, a lot of things have changed. A lot of programs are going online. When it was being said that Corona, we read it in Hindi and we decided to do something Corona. And that's where we trained more than 30,000 people, youth, into various skills, technical skills, non-technical skills across the state, along with 4,000 plus faculty members also were upgraded. Looking at what all the previous panelists have been saying and talking about, it's most important. Today we talk about not only soft skills, but we talk about essential skills, the 21st century transferable skills. So we were also conducting a lot of training programs on those kind of skills also, including critical decision making, teamwork, of course, digital literacy, financial literacy are a part of it. All these various things, including when we talk about a growth mindset, which is very, very important. So all these things we were covering as part of our transferable skills. Moving to the area which previous speakers spoke about, I think the biggest challenge for India has been, and if I put it in an anecdotal way, While some of us were growing up, we had something called as mechano. Then it became mechanics. Then it became Lego. But today it has become let go. No one does anything with their own hands. And that is the reason everyone is busy with the mobile. It's important for us to, rightly said by Satyajit sir also earlier on, that it's important for people to be recognized, to make vocational education much more desired, much more respected. And that's where it's important, because people need to learn to do things by the hands. Atal Innovation Mission, etc., are good initiatives in those directions. And we also ensure that our students get as much as hands-on experience as possible. Coming to the thing that everyone was speaking about, which was entrepreneurship. In Telangana, it also becomes more challenging because we have 33 districts. And we initiated a program in November, we initiated it, December it was launched. And probably the first time across India, it was happening at that scale. Where 7,800 plus students were giving an entrepreneurship orientation program. Now, these are the people who attended the program, which was run virtually by TASK in collaboration with our ecosystem partners, including, all, as you know, Telangana has got a very, very vibrant ecosystem of entrepreneurship, but we wanted to bring it down to rural entrepreneurship and social innovation, and we took it door to door. And our concept was very simple, and it was simplifying lives through social innovations. And that was the theme on which we started working. And this program was run where the 7,000 people were exposed to an orientation program on entrepreneurship. The program was structured in a way where there was the concepts were covered for 1.5 hours, post which we had 5 different themes: education, livelihoods and skills. Second one was healthcare. Third one was green economy. Fourth one, agriculture. And fifth one was last mile access. So we had experts from all these areas actually interact with our budding entrepreneurs and talk to them. Apart from that, we got 2 entrepreneurs, one of a national importance or an international importance, and someone who was a local champion over here. We got them together to interact with our students, and we had question answers with them. This was also followed by a series of a conference, which was done, a half-day conference, where we had people like Anil Gupta from the co-founder or the founder of Honeybee Network, National Innovation Network, Shrishti, ex-IM professor, Mr. Ramanan Ramanathan, Mission Director, AIM, Mr. BVR Mohan Reddy, who's also an advisor to AICTE, and Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, who is our Honorable Principal Secretary, IT, who is one of the champions behind TASK, as well as ensuring that more and more students get, are aware about entrepreneurship. Our main purpose was, and just as Satyajit sir said, and Mr. Singh also said, focus was how do you ensure that we have a nation of a state of job givers, not job seekers only. And we wanted to create not only entrepreneurs, but also solopreneurs and micropreneurs, getting themselves employed and also employed 2-3 other people. We also wanted to ensure that this is done at the grassroots itself. So the program was run in English as well as the local language. Plus, since we work very closely with our partner organization, which is TSAT, which is our own state government satellite television system, these programs were also telecast on that. Now, from those 7,000 odd people, we have further brought it down, and now we have about 300 odd students who have come up with an idea. So we have an ideathon, they've come up with an idea. Now we start a 3 months virtual entrepreneurship development program for them. And that's typically how we would have this entire thing. So yes, skilling is one of the most important things for us. Entrepreneurship development is also extremely important.
I'll just go to Mr. Satyajit Rajan, sir. Sir, Kerala being has the distinction of being the 100% literacy state in the country. And how skill department is considered to be the youngest department in the administration of any state government and central government. In your strategy, do you see a role of technology in skill development moving forward? And what are your priorities?
I mean, technology would completely change the skill sets. I mean, in the coming days, when the houses are going to be constructed, with printers, would we need masons? Similarly, when the furnitures are also made digitally, we may not need carpenters. We'll need people who can design and people who can feed that information to the computer system for the output to come. Slowly it will come. It will come in the 30 years or 40 years, but there are already houses are being constructed specifically, with the particular design. Already it has started. But the challenge which we have right now is essentially how we train our students to cope up with challenges as and when they come. So they have to be first psychologically prepared that any job can vanish at any point of time. We do not know when they will vanish. So they have to be psychologically ready for that particular thing. Second, we should teach them how to switch from one job to another. In case a particular job is not in demand, how they can go to another job. That switching flexibility, that should be a part of our course, the curriculum. So, we can take care of that, but technology is drastically changing the way we are living. It will continue changing the way we live. So, I mean, no denying the fact. And as far as, the problem is when we think about high-end technology, we start thinking about, higher level institutions, so-called higher level institutions. We'll talk about IITs and all that. So at the level of, these interventions, at the level of the ITIs, if the technologies have to change, we have to think how they are going to take it. How those students who are not that bright, but they can use hands much better than others, how they will take that. Can we make that change in a way that they can adapt better to that? We'll have to keep that in mind. One initiative which we started, and there, we have set up, around 50 workstations, just like you have for any normal incubator. We've set up an incubator for our ITI students. We decided a year ago that why shouldn't we have an incubator for our ITI students when we are thinking about turning them into entrepreneurs? So let's have an incubator. So that particular thing, that will give interface. In fact, our Sanjay has stopped. I mean, everybody has stopped very well. Sanjay, certain points, I would carry home. I have requested him to share with me. He's talking about the World Skills Center in this, just like what in previously we knew as Lyceum, Lyceum, the Roman Lyceum. So I think the Odisha, the intervention is just like a Lyceum, where each skill, the changing technologies, everything is showcased. That is linked to all the ITIs, and ITIs will immediately, any changing thing, this center will pass it on to them. So I would not only we'll decide to have it in Kerala. This kind of we had decided to have a Lyceum. We didn't get the land. But whatever land we have, we'll set it up. So we'll learn from what Odisha has done. And I would encourage all the states to set up such a center, which will become a technology center, which will showcase, the changing technologies in each field for the ITIs.
I think it's a welcome comments. Best practices always should be encouraged in every government. It is, I think, If that is helping to grow faster and productivity, I am sure it is. So I'll just go to Mr. Mehir Kumar Singh.
Yes,
So
please.
what are your current challenges on the ground, sir, in the skill mission, and how you are addressing to them? Is technology part of your strategy in dealing with the skill development missions?
The main challenge right now is the scale. I have joined a few months back, and post Corona, especially with the huge number of migrant laborers coming back to Bihar, and of course, another state which was affected very hugely is Uttar Pradesh. So it's a challenge as well as an opportunity, because advantage of these laborers coming back to Bihar was that we were able to capture the data comprehensively of all the laborers. Initially, we were able to provide them with some kind of job, whether it be Manrega jobs or small jobs, because with the health challenges that were there, it was not possible to go whole hog into skill development. But yes, now that we have the data, we know, and we also have their preferences, we know as to what are their choices and where they would like to go. The second part is building the ecosystem for that. And because skill development, especially the technical skill development, I would say long term in skill development is basically 2 years, 1 to 2 years. So let us not confuse with the economic long term, but the long term is 1 to 2 years in which we develop the technical skills in ITIs, in polytechnics, and all those things. This is what we are interested in development. Technology is a huge challenge, and technology is also a huge opportunity, especially with these two states uh, giving all the supplying all the labor of whole of India. So we have been contacted by lots of industry partners, and these industry partners have gone in. They are now talking of, once we started talking to them, we knew that the industry is evolving in a different way for industry 4.0, which is post corona, where there will be robotics, where there will be automating everything. So it will be new kind of technologies are coming. For example, e-mobility will be, the e-vehicles will be the focus will be industrial robotics on automation. So in advanced plumbing, which can go for advanced construction, in oil and gas, chemicals, and all these things, advanced welding, advanced machining. And for that, we are in association with the industry. We are designing a curriculum which is in sync with the industry partners' expectations. We are discussing that there is already a dual system of training which is there by DG training, and as per that we can develop the curriculum as per the industry needs. And the industry will not only be giving the trainers for us, with us, and will also be helping in developing our centers of excellence, of which I talked about earlier. And then the new skills which are needed, the new technological interventions which are needed will be given. And apart from that, all kind of machines which are required over there will also be provided by the industry. So actually within the next 1 to 2 years, you are going to change a lot of totally different set of change will be visible in Bihar's skill development mission. And industry is going to be not only the partner but the guiding partner in this whole thing. And the government of Bihar is in sync with the needs of the industry, and we are developing it as per that. If you want more details, even in agriculture, for example, in agriculture, drone technology is one thing which is being emphasized. So when the health of the crops is being determined through drones, through pesticides, how you will be using the pesticides. These drones will have to be operated by new people. So drone might be made somewhere else in India, but they will be needing people to operate these drones. And fertilizers will have to be sprayed. So all these things have to be done. So even the all old lathe machines are going away. They are not going to be used. So computer aided design, computer aided manufacturing, computer aided CNC lathe machines, all those things are going to be utilized in future. And accordingly, we have to change our skilling pattern to the new system. So I think I've been able to answer the question at least
Yeah,
partly.
thank you, Mr. Mahir Kumar Singh. I'll just go to Mr. Sanjay Kumar Singh.
As I said, the biggest challenge, not only in Odisha, but I think across the country, has been how do we make vocational and technical education aspirational? That is the biggest challenge which we have in India. In fact, just to tell you, we are having a collaboration with IT Singapore. When I went to IT Singapore, I was surprised to know that this IT Singapore, which is today one of the best skilling institution in the entire world, was set up by Tatas, and that was in 70s. Now Tatas have set up IT Singapore, which has gone to that level. Now we are reaching out to IT Singapore to once again, kind of reinvigorate our own system. So I think probably over a period of time, we didn't give as much emphasis on vocational and technical education as we should have given. And therefore, our skill institutions were not aspirational. Today, a school pass out would like to join a normal +2 course in his village. He would not like to join ITI. He would not like to join Polytechnic, where he would be getting an assured job. So the whole premise on which we are working is that we have to actually make skilling aspirational. Last time, when we did our Eastern Zone skill competition, which was held by NSTC, we wanted to raise the aspiration to such a height that every public school student would like to join these skill institutions. At the end of the program, the son of the director of employment, who is an IS officer, his son, who goes to class 5th, he said, Ki, Papa, I also would like to join an ITI. So basically, we have to make skill aspirational so that good students should come to skilling. Another problem which we see in skilling is that we have actually a lot of misconceptions about technical and vocational education. If you look at the gender ratio in the skill institution, in the ITIs, in the polytechnics, you will find that there are very few girls who join ITIs and polytechnics. There is a misconception that technical courses are meant, the shop floors are meant only for male students. That is something which we are trying to change. And as we have more and more girls in our ITIs, as we have more and more girls in our polytechnic, we have seen in last 3 to 4 years, the quality of education has improved. Today, if you see, all employers want to have female skilled professionals as their employees. But today we do not have so many female joining into ITI and polytechnic. Coming back to the digital point which you raised and what Satyajit Rajan sir was saying. Now this World Skill Center which we are not making it as a resource for Odisha only. We want to make that as a national resource. While the last World Skills competition was being held in Russia, I was not aware that Russia is also setting up similar World Skill Centers. But when I landed in Russia, I saw that Russia has already set up 4 World Skill Centers. Then we thought this World Skill Center will be a national resource. It will not be a regional resource, number one. Number two, this will be a national resource for also developing the digital contents. This will be a national resource for also doing research as to where the technology is moving, where the jobs are moving, where the employment is moving, and accordingly re-strategize our own plan so that we fit into that. As far as Odisha is concerned, we started our digital intervention quite early. In fact, we were one of the first states to introduce online examination in our ITIs. That we started in the year 2017 itself. Now we've introduced our smartphone technician courses. Then we have introduced smart agriculture courses, smart healthcare courses in our ITIs. So then we've also completely digitized our entire course curriculum. So we have a three-dimensional course curriculum for ITI and Polytechnic, which is available across the state in all our government institutions. So therefore, as I said, today, if you talk about skills, skills has four pillars. Pillar number one is physical infrastructure. Pillar number two is digital infrastructure. Three is intellectual infrastructure and emotional infrastructure. So you can't undermine the importance of digital infrastructure as far as skilling is concerned. If we undermine the importance of digital infrastructure, that will be at our own peril.
I'll just go to Mr. Major Harsh Kumar.
We are, whatever research work and development work goes in NCRT, we are directly in touch with the states through SCRT. So in all the programs, all the research, we are in consent with the states. So there is no mandate. This is an automatic work which goes on since the inceptions only.
I'll just go to Mr. Srikant Sinhaji. What is on your agenda in connection with the public-private partnership in skill initiatives? If you can elaborate on that, some of the best models that you have adopted.
Sure. Thanks. Very interesting question. And probably what I would also like to mention what Satyajit Rajan sir said, the mindset and changing from one job to another and how we have to prepare them is we need the mindset to change for people to understand it is not 17 plus 4 plus full stop, but it's 17 plus 4 plus 40. So till the time you are in your work life, you have to keep on learning, unlearning, and relearning. So skilling, upskilling, and reskilling is going to be the order of the day as we move ahead. Today itself, since you're talking about public-private partnership, today morning itself, in Telangana, we have launched the NASSCOM Future Skills Prime platform in collaboration with Government of Telangana, the Sector Skills Council, the ITITS Sector Skills Council, as well as the Telangana State Council for Higher Education. So these are the kind of models which will actually work, because as everyone has been talking about, how do you scale up? Technology has to be not the differentiator, but the bridge. Technology should be able to democratize the reach, democratize the quality of education and skilling and training to reach out to the last mile. Today, if you look at it, we realized that how do we reach out? When we were running this I4TS program, the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Program, we found out that everyone might not be able to see this on their mobile phones, because most of the people would have a 1 MB kind of a download as per part of the package. So we said, can we reach out to them through an alternate medium? And that's where we went through satellite medium. If you look at all these kinds of things coming up, today it's important that industry, so entrepreneurship, apprenticeship, internship, all three of these are very, very crucial. While the apprenticeship has been there for quite some time, but I think what is most important is today that there is a good PPP practice to be set up where the academia, the government, and the industry collaborate together to ensure that the next generation that comes out of our institutions are suitable for any industry. What we have been doing, for example, is as the government, we lead a lot of initiatives. A lot of IT partners and non-IT partners are partnering with us, providing courses, etc., to our students in all the 33 districts across Telangana. Some of the key things that could be taken out from my previous profiles, etc., including my tenure as the CEO of NASSCOM Foundation, where we started the CSR-based skilling programs itself. And I was in fact, interacting both with KSM in Kerala, as well as presently also I'm as part of the DSC program in Bihar. I'm one of the committee members were there, and of course, Odisha government people visited task also before they were setting up the thing. And I think, sir, you were also part of that delegation who had come to our office. So it's important for us to ensure industry. So we have got a concept called as professors of practice. So since Telangana has got a vibrant industry, we get professionals who are actually working in the industries to come and conduct regular sessions as professors of practice for all our youth. The advantage with Corona, I will not say a disadvantage, an advantage with Corona was earlier, the professors of practice could only pay attention to one college. But now in Corona, all the colleges all across log into our platform, which is again a home-based platform itself of Telangana, and they are able to access the entire knowledge. It doesn't cost anything. And that's where the kind of models need to be developed so that people can be skilled. One thing which I would like to say is additive manufacturing is coming up in a big way. And as Satyajit Ran sir said, and everyone said that, we need to move towards that side. Our ITIs need to work. For example, Government of Telangana Industries Department has mapped each and every ITI to an industry today. If we look at the colleges, etc., also what we are trying to do is trying to work with the MSME sector. 40% of India's export GDP is provided by the MSME sector. However, they don't have the wherewithal or the resources to train people whom they get on board. Large companies, IT companies, etc., can afford a bench and train people and bring them online. Right? But in case our students are able to work as interns, as apprentices in these MSME sectors and get trained over there, because there they will get exposed to many, many more things than larger organizations. And there are more opportunities. If there are 1.2 crore jobs in the form of the large industries, 11.27 crore jobs are available in the MSME sectors. So that is where probably we should look at another model of how do we empower the students by training them, as well as empower the MSMEs by providing them the right trained resources. So probably these are some of the models which definitely can be looked at.
I sincerely thank you all the panelists for joining the panel discussion on Skill India towards a reskilling revolution, part of Education Innovation and Skill Summit organized by ET Government and ETHR World. It's indeed a great pleasure to interact with you. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for sharing your experience. Let's proceed for another session.